Diddy is going through it. His find out season has been building up since last year when Cassie opened those closets wide open and all of these skeletons started tumbling out. Rolling Stone has an expose, and we are about to get into it. The Rolling Stone article is behind a paywall, but this is the title: Bad Boy for Life, Sean Combs' History of Violence. For decades, Sean Diddy Combs was hip hop's boisterous showman. Now, dozens of former friends, employees, and bad boy artists allege an abusive, menacing figure behind the facade. Rolling Stone did make a tweet thread. Now, they say over the past 6 months, Rolling Stone has conducted dozens of interviews with Combs' former friends, acquaintances, employees, and bad boy artists. Out of 300 plus people contacted, more than 50 were willing to speak about their experiences. Now, if Rolling Stone has 50 people speaking, what do the feds have? Sources describe Sean Diddy Combs as a complicated man with opposing personas. Outwardly, they see a tastemaker who is unapologetically driven, generous, and jovial, but associates who got close enough to Diddy discovered something darker behind the facade: a menacing figure who desperately wanted to be accepted and admired, who uses public declarations of devotion, splashy donations, and boasts that he is brother love to hide an undercurrent of alleged abuse and violence that, in one's previously unreported allegation, traces back to before his career even started. In response to allegations in the article, Combs' attorney says Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press from any source, no matter how unreliable. So he ain't talking. And that makes sense. Don't talk right now. I mean, if I was a defense attorney, that's what I would be saying. But these people, they are talking. Sources tell Rolling Stone that Diddy wielded his power to bend people to his will, sending staffers to win back one-time girlfriend J-Lo, beating a label executive bloody, and allegedly trying to solicit nookie from a woman on his payroll. Joy Dickerson Neal, who is suing Combs for SA, tells Rolling Stone that Diddy is actually sick and has left so many victims in the wake of his unpunished, disgusting behavior over the years. Shortly after R&B singer Cassie Ventura filed her sex trafficking lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs last November, Rolling Stone launched a wide-ranging 6-month investigation into the rapper, record mogul, and billionaire. Yes, Cassie opened the door for so many people to come forward. And with this, I'm hoping that so many more of these monsters, these predators, get outed and have the light shown on their behaviors, their past, and that they are actually starting to feel some of the consequences of their behaviors. They've been allowed to hunt for too long without consequences. This person says after this quote that he is a menacing figure who wants to be accepted and admired. He says, it sounds like Trump and Diddy have a lot in common. And obviously we can't say if somebody is a narc or whatever, but this person definitely has some toxic tendencies, some dysfunction, some chaos going on in the undercurrent. And he does remind me of what is going on with Trump, how he needs the accolades and all of that, the shine, but then behind that is a monster. Inlago says, sources describe Diddy as a complicated man with opposing personas. Translation in simple English: Sean Diddy Combs is effing crazy. Full stop. He sums up the article, and maybe that is what the article says. Considering I can't open it yet, I am sure that somebody is going to repost the article somewhere. Content creator Phil Lewis made a post about Diddy, and I want to talk about some of the commentary under this one. This person says if the feds come at you as hard as they did with Diddy, that usually means they have an airtight case against you. It might take some time to get everything right for the slam dunk, which means people will be hung out to dry, unfortunately. I don't know why he said unfortunately. Some of these people do need to be taken out and hung out to dry. Some of them deserve it because Diddy was able to operate this way for a reason, because he had people enabling him, setting things up, and or looking the other way. Atticus Winch says, Diddy's downfall will be the worst in music history. You guys agree with that take? Sweet Carmel says Diddy is about to be indicted. Till says if the federal grand jury indict, then he will be charged with something. Feds don't indict unless they already have the evidence. Lady Di says, finish him. True Words Spoken says, sounds like Rodney Jones had volumes of incriminating evidence regarding allegations before this case. I really don't know what to say. I have no idea what exactly was going down, how big it was, or who all was involved outside of who was named in this specific lawsuit, but it seems like some heavy considering the way it's been handled so far, other than the absolutely bizarre fact that nobody other than Diddy's drug mule has been arrested so far. They're going to, man, I don't know what's going to happen, but there probably will be some more arrests simply to get more information. And we know that based on, just how they do things with going after the little people that might not have enough money to fight so that they start to sing like a canary. And I am enjoying thoroughly watching these people get what is coming to them for what they have been able to do to women, to men, obviously, in the past without repercussions. It makes my little heart go pitter pat. Let me know what you think about all of this. What are your predictions? Let me know. Jump in the comments, like, comment, and share.
The biggest escalation since those March raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami. We are now hearing that federal investigators are preparing to possibly bring witnesses in front of a federal grand jury in New York City. What we have heard is that possible witnesses have been notified that they could be called to testify. Now, sources do caution that investigators are still in the process of gathering information. In fact, they are still calling in new witnesses, and they have called in some witnesses multiple times. We also hear that the majority of the accusers who have filed these civil lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs have been brought in for questioning, and again, some of them being called in numerous times. We hear that many are cooperating and even handing over evidence that they feel could be relevant into this federal probe. Now, a spokesperson for Homeland Security did not respond to our request for comment about the presence of a grand jury, but they did confirm that this investigation is presently ongoing.
And Elizabeth, what are you learning about the evidence that investigators could be reviewing here?
So, as I mentioned, those federal raids that were conducted on his homes back in March, obviously a lot of people wondering what was seized. Well, we are learning now that federal investigators are in possession of video footage that was taken inside of Combs's residence. We hear that these investigators have been contacting individuals that they have seen on this footage. One person, in addition to the accusers who have filed these civil suits, is a male sex worker. That is what a source tells me, and that they have been brought in for questioning through these federal investigators. Now, when the raids first happened, we had a law enforcement source tell us at CNN that the investigation was largely based in sex trafficking, which is what HSI specializes in. Now we are hearing that that scope has been widened and that investigators are really looking into all of these claims put forth in these civil lawsuits. That would include not just sex trafficking, but also money laundering and illegal drugs. I have a source who tells me, quote, this is much bigger than just these lawsuits.
The Hollywood Reporter put out a full article on Diddy that is not behind a paywall. So we're going to get into this one. Sean Diddy Combs' history of violence dates back to college days, according to new investigation. In a bombshell report, Rolling Stone reveals historical allegations of assault against scandal-plagued music mogul. The fact that this is probably 40 years old, these allegations probably go back 4 decades, is wild how protected this man has been over the lifetime of his career. Several sources told Rolling Stone that Combs showed flashes of violence. Several sources told Rolling Stone that Combs showed flashes of violent and controlling behavior during his time at Howard University. In one incident, some of Combs' college contemporaries described how outside Howard's Harriet Tubman quadrangle dorm, a belligerent Combs started screaming for his girlfriend to come outside. The student source says that several female students in the dorm were aware that Combs, known then by his nickname Puff, was allegedly attacking his girlfriend outside the building and began raising the alarm in the dorm. Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her, the fellow students said, according to the first witnesses. It's wild that these people are now speaking. They could have been speaking, but men are protected. A second Howard student who witnessed the alleged attack told Rolling Stone that Combs used what appeared to be a belt to hit the woman all over the place. The second witness said Combs appeared super angry and was screaming at the top of his lungs. The witness says Combs whooped her butt, like really whooped her butt, and the woman was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying and they were telling him, "Get off of her." We were screaming for her. The woman that Combs is alleged to have attacked at Howard declined to comment, but Rolling Stone says the third source also recalled the incident. In another incident, Kirk Burroughs, Bad Boy co-founding partner and president, claims he saw Combs attack a woman inside the record label's office in 1994. Burroughs, who was fired from Bad Boy in 1997, and another ex-employee claimed they had to separate Combs from the woman after they heard screams and the sound of glass shattering. In a separate account, Bad Boy employee Felicia Newsom alleges she once had to hold Combs back when he was about to beat this girl's butt after a fight broke out between two women. "I'm holding him by the waist saying, 'You need to calm down. This is not your fight,'" Newsom recalled. The Rolling Stone report alleges Combs was a controlling figure, unwilling to let the women in his life move on after the end of a relationship. Combs is accused of assaulting late music executive Shakir Stewart at a wedding in Italy after Stewart had begun a relationship with Combs' on and off partner, Kim Porter. During the alleged incident, which occurred in 2000 at music mogul L.A. Reid's wedding, Combs is accused of seeking out Stewart in his hotel room and assaulting him. Stewart's mother, Portia Labrie, as well as two of his close friends, said Combs broke a chair over Stewart's head. He left him bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy, Labrie says. He had to have stitches, and then Combs threatened him, "I'm going to unalive you." That's when I said, "You need to get out of this business. This is crazy." Also on Wednesday, CNN and the LA Times reported that federal investigators are preparing grand jury subpoenas for witnesses to testify in the SEX trafficking investigation. The latter report noted that little is known about the federal probe, including the identities of alleged victims. Combs has previously called the probe nothing more than a witch hunt via his lawyer. Rolling Stone notes in the report that the magazine sent Combs a detailed list of questions about the new and pending allegations, but that he did not specifically address them. Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press. So y'all know he is not talking, but it looks like lots of people are talking. It looks like there are lots of questions being asked. All right, y'all, let me know where you think this is headed and how many people you think are going to go down with him. And I'm wondering if he will take himself out of the equation, if you know what I'm getting at. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.